When the Sims 2 base game got released in 2004, we got 3 different, unique and interesting neighborhoods filled with drama and possibility. But before these neighborhoods were brought to life, developers experimented with different neighborhoods, references to which can still be found in the game files. There was this one neighborhood though that was consistently used by the team in screenshots, previews, promotional videos before the release of the game, one that was used to create some prototypes that we now know very well. Many believe that this neighborhood was meant to ship with the game as the one and only big all-purpose neighborhood before it was eventually scrapped. This neighborhood is none other than Riverside. And luckily it was recreated accurately by some players a couple of years ago and is now playable. So I thought today I would show you around Riverside. We will look at the lots and the families who live here, see what kind of drama they've been stirring up, and we might run into some familiar faces and some familiar designs as well. If you want to download this hood and give it a shot, the link is in the description below as always. So here we are in Riverside, and I think this is about how much you would see from it if you didn't have a camera mod. However, I do have a camera mod so I can just zoom out and see all of it because it is quite big. It is bigger than Pleasant View, however you can definitely tell that it was like the prototype for Pleasant View in terms of road layouts and neighborhood deco. The bridge looks exactly like the Pleasant View bridge, and some of the roads are basically the exact same as in Pleasant View. They do not have the same names though. The general vibe of this place is the same as Pleasant View's. However, Pleasant View certainly does not have this branch of roads. And I also think it is a lot more packed than Pleasant View. There is still space for new lots, but it's basically filled up with unoccupied houses. Anyways, I want to talk about the families and not the lots first. So Riverside has 11 active households, and most of them have at least 3 Sims in them, which is quite a lot compared to all the other neighborhoods that eventually got released with the game. But at least they're not all freaking related. I'm going to attempt playing this neighborhood rotationally on my channel starting from next week, so if that's something you're interested in, feel free to join me. Right, just had to say that right here. So let's jump into the families now. So the first family I want to show you is the Baxters. They live in this unnecessarily huge house on Surf Road, and their household consists of 2 parents who currently hate each other and a kid. Their bio says, Don, Sarah and Alex were looking for a peaceful place to keep their family together, but after many incidents and romantic clashes in the past, will Sarah be able to hold on to her husband, or will she lose him forever? And yeah, you guessed it, this is indeed the beta Don Lothario. His head looks a little bit different and he works in the slacker carrier, not the medical one, but that's about it. He is basically the Don that we know. He is a Roman Sim and all he thinks about is woohoo. And the reason his wife hates him currently is, of course, cheating. There's actually a really interesting video about this on YouTube in which one of the developers showcases like new features of The Sims 2. It was before the game was released, and he plays out this scenario where Don cheats on Sarah. I recommend you watch it. Don's bio says he doesn't actually think what he was doing was cheating, and he feels Sarah is irrationally angry at him. And so is Sarah's family, who have just moved in across the street, and we will get to them in a second, but first let me talk some more about Sarah and Don. Don actually cheated on Sarah with none other than Dina Caliente's prototype, who is called Dina Ross in this neighborhood, and we will get to her too in a bit. Don is right in that much that they did not end up woohooing. The only memory Don has of woohoo is with his wife, but they are in love with each other, so it might eventually happen. But despite being angry with him, Sarah here actually wants to save her marriage. She thinks that having a baby, which is a locked-in want for her, would save their family unity and her marriage. She's a family sim, despite being a Libra, and she works in the science career. She is best friends with everybody in her family except her husband. Oh yeah, here's Alex. He looks like a sweet kid, and he probably is, but unfortunately he's got the exact same personality as his dad. Who knows where that might lead in the future. So this is their house, and I just hate playing in houses like this. So much empty space for like nothing. Basically, Alex has his own floor here, and he's got a bathroom that does not have a door. The family does not have a TV or a bookshelf. However, they have this kitschy shed looking thing out in the back. They have this whole place dedicated just to partying. And they have these. Oh yeah, and a hot tub in a dysfunctional place. So let's switch over to the Thompsons, who are Sarah's family, Sarah's dad and 2 siblings. They live in this fairly decent house, I think. It hasn't got so much unnecessary space. So this is Thomas Thompson. He's got a plus space in between his names. That really bothers me. But so does the rest of the family, really. He is a family sim and he's happy to know Alex, but he wants another grandkid. He's actually a retired captain hero, although I don't really understand how he ever got that job. He doesn't despise Dawn. I don't know if he's heard about the cheating. Nope, he only has positive memories. He also secretly hopes that he might have a second chance at love in Riverside. This is Jack. He's a knowledge sim and he wants a job in science, and all he craves is intellectual stimulation. He's a Capricorn, which is rare. And finally, Virginia is a romance sim, also a Capricorn, and her story is interesting. When Virginia saw her sister's husband with another woman, she was furious and a little intrigued. Not that she'd ever do anything like that, of course. She was certainly somewhat turned on by that. So now we will look at who this Dina is exactly. Dina's new in town, but she's already made 1 friend and 1 acquaintance who should mind her own business. Dina's not out to wreck anybody's life, but she's not obliged to live by any standards but her own. And you can see she looks exactly like Pleasant View Dina Caliente. She even wears the same lipstick, I think. She indeed doesn't know anybody else other than Dawn and Virginia. She hasn't got a family, she hasn't got Dina, hasn't got alien grandparents, anything like that. It's just her. And she's a romance sim, unlike Pleasant View Dina, who's a fortune sim. And look, she's got the exact same personality as Dawn. They're a match made in heaven, actually. This is Dina's place. It's quite big for someone who lives alone, like she's got an extra room. There really isn't a lot more to Dina in this neighborhood, except she's very much into crime and money. Next up is the Brook family. No, not the Brokes, the Brooks, except if I don't know how to pronounce this name. Correct me. Basically, it's 2 parents and 2 teenage daughters who are kind of in a rivalry about some boy called Josh, who, strangely enough, neither of them know. But that's probably just an oversight. This is Danielle. She's like the outgoing one, she's a popularity sim, but she's also kind of grouchy. She's always been the head twin, the leader, and she cannot take this guy called Josh Russell with 2 L's, hanging with her sister instead of her. And this is Melissa, the wallflower, who is extremely nice but painfully shy. She's never minded Danielle's demeanoring much, but she really wants Josh. So she's willing to fight her sister over it. She's a family sim, and spoiler alert, Josh is also a family sim, so I think it's already decided. And these are the parents. It's Abraham, who just wants to earn money. He works as this job that I cannot pronounce in the law enforcement career. He's got a good relationship with his wife Macy and decent-ish relationships with Daniel and Melissa. He wants to talk to them both. I wonder what about. He's also an Aries. Abraham is proud of his new rank, blah blah blah. Now if he can only keep up with the bills, his ladies will be sitting pretty. I think he's a traditional kind of man. I just suspect that. Macy here is actually a knowledge sim and she's a Cancer. She thinks it's not too late, or 2 is misspelled. It's not too late to give Abraham a boy too. That's interesting. Unlike a lot of other residents in Riverside, she actually knows some people outside of her household, namely Margaret Marshall and Isabel Brooklyn, some other moms who we will get to in a second. And let me just show you their house. Again, it's like so much space and for nothing. And we move on to the Brooklyns now, who not only have a similar name but also like live right across the brooks. I don't know about you, but stuff like this can really bother me. Like their names are just so similar. I can't explain why, okay? Guess I just really like diversity. That's actually one of the problems with this neighborhood. It has very little skin tone and facial feature diversity in my opinion. There is only one sim with skin 4 and that is a townie. So when I play this neighborhood, I will be set on fixing that. Anyways, the Brooklyns, Isabella and Charles, who is not Isabella but Isabel, I believe, but anyways, have raised up 2 troublesome teens, but can they shape the 2 to become civilized adults? And will they salvage their little one from the wreckage? So this is a big family. We have the dad, Charles, who's a popularity sim and seems to not really give a crap about serious things. Fill the house with good times and friends and everything will be fine. He's not worried about his boys. He's unemployed and so is Isabel. And they only have 2,000 in cash, so I think there should be things to worry about, but okay, Charles. Isabel is yet another family sim mom. Isabel worries that Greg and Blake will be a bad influence on Kenneth. Blake is a popularity sim and he really hates Greg. He's sure he could be the big man at school if Gregory would stop embarrassing him. Greg is your super outgoing romance sim who is currently in like a punk phase, I suppose. He is sure he could get somewhere with the chicks if Blake would stop trying to squash his style. He wants to fall in love with Hannah, another emo kid that we will get to in a second. And this is Kenneth. He is really shy, the poor thing. He's gonna be a family sim, I think, when he grows up. He wishes his big brothers, gotta correct everything, don't I, would stop fighting each other and going off on their own, leaving him behind. That's so sad. This house is also decent, I think. You know, it kind of reminds me of Veronaville. I mean, even like the structure of it is a bit Veronaville-like. The cap house looks like this, a tiny bit. I mean, the floor plan, kind of, except that one's bigger. Next family is the Jeffersons, who live at South Meadow. I suppose that this place here is South Meadow. They're a big family. Barbara has got the big family she's always wanted, but will she be able to manage a sit-and-do-nothing husband? A punk rebellious teen, and no, this is not Hannah. A wild, headstrong daughter, a messy, low-grade son, and an attention-craving toddler. So this is Sam, the sit-and-do-nothing husband. For some reason, everybody in this neighborhood seems to really love Sarah Baxter, or Alexander Tetterton, who at this point did not exist. You decide. So Sam is a knowledge sim and he actually wants a job in science. It's not true that he never does anything around here. Just yesterday, he organized the spice rack. I love some of these bios, I really do. This is Barbara. Yes, you guessed it, she's a family sim. And their marriage is actually quite good with Sam. She's also unemployed, but she does seem to be quite the housewife because she's got loads of cooking and cleaning skill. She's also a Cancer. Yeah, Barbara, I agree. And I don't even have a single child. Not even a freaking plant to keep alive. So this is Dina, your rebellious teenager of the household. She's a Leo, finally a Leo. And I love her bio. It says, how is Dina supposed to build up any street cred if she has to be seen with these people? She doesn't know any of the other punk kids, so that's probably going to change once I play with them. She wants to get a job in politics, and I can just somehow see that for her, yeah. So this is Carla, one of the twins, and she thinks she is the superior twin. Twin rivalry is just blooming in this neighborhood. Jim is kind of the opposite of Carla, I mean personality wise, but he also thinks he's better. And this is little Seth, I don't know how to pronounce that, who really only wants attention and a toy. Exact same personality as the dad, how interesting. This house is just, it looks like something I would build, and that's not a compliment. Next up we have the Roberts family, with Gina's look-alike Hannah. James, the dad, is focused on his military career and Patricia is a busy mom. Show me one mom in this neighborhood whose only personality trait isn't being a mom. But their relationship with their daughter has slowly gone down the drain. So they're in their pajamas when I load the lot. This is James. He's a flight officer, whatever that means. He's really into money. And none of the girls understand the stress he is under at work. He misses the fun they used to have with his daughter when she was younger. That's actually sad. This is Patricia, and to me Patricia Roberts is like a mixture of Patricia Van because of her name and what's her face? The woman from Beldunikov. Etsu's mom. She reminds me of her because she's also a military wife and because they look very similar. She's a Scorpio. I think we have our first Scorpio in this neighborhood. And this is Hannah. I am just really bothered by how she and Gina look the same but with like different skin tone and different facial features. But like they have the same hair and the same clothes and like I understand trans, okay? I understand trans amongst teenagers, but mom and dad don't understand anything. She might as well talk to the wall. And yes, she is kind of close to Gregory Brooklyn. And this is a townie. Again, loads of open space in this house. The one thing I want to say about this house is, do you see all of this? Do you see all of this? Yeah, I know what they're going to spend all of their free time on. Molyneux is up next. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, you see it right. It is another Gina. Who the hell is Victor? When Gina, the lady right here, ditched the loser, who I suppose was Scott's dad, Victor, Gina's dad, was glad to welcome his only daughter and grandson home to ride out the crisis. But there was a reason she went so far away for so long, and they're beginning to remember what it was. This is Gina. She's extremely sloppy and extremely grouchy. I think she's our first Gemini. Gina wouldn't have come here if she'd had any choice. She's grateful and all, but she didn't escape from that loser just to let her dad take over her life. Yeah, she's unemployed, but she is a fortune sim. Victor is found stood here just looking out of the window, looking at the road and the other houses, just dreaming of a quiet, normal life, just being nostalgic over how good it was living alone. He used to be a mad scientist. Apparently everybody in this neighborhood who is retired had the highest level job. That's curious. They do not have a lot of money though. He wants Scott to do well at school and he also wants, well, I assume Gina, to get engaged to someone. Scott, who is a teenager, is a popularity sim. He is just as sloppy as his mom. But he is nice though. He just can't keep track of all the new rules. And I want to tell you that this house is not really supposed to look like this when you download the neighborhood. I think this place up here and the bathroom is supposed to be full of trash because of how Gina and Scott have been living. But you know, it got kind of problematic. They talked about it on Mod The Sims. Some players simply do not get the trash because of mods and all of that. I'm a bit disappointed. I wanted trash. They have a lake in the back. Look at this. They have like a painting easel in front of the lake and a telescope as well. You can look at the brooks and one-stop shop from the telescope. And we're finally going to meet Josh because we're going to the Russell family, and oh boy, this is quite the household. So this is Trenton, ex-mayor, I suppose, of Riverside. Trenton spent his youth and adulthood doing his duty, and now it's time to reap the reward and party. He's a Roman sim. This is his lover, who was moved in this house by Trenton's daughter, Martha. Claire and Martha have been best friends for very long. Claire has lost her job or something like that. She needed somewhere to stay, and good old Martha, who's a family sim, she took her in. Martha is a classic representative of the sandwich generation, looking after her elderly father while still raising her son. She'd hoped that letting her old friend Claire crush with him till she got back on her feet would get her some help around here, but she's not sure she likes Claire helping Dad. And you can see they're still best friends, but Martha doesn't think of Claire very highly anymore. Claire does though. Claire likes Martha. Yeah, Claire's a romance sim, by the way, and she does want to get a job in the slacker career, so there is hope for her. And then here is Josh, Martha's son. He's a teenager, and he's also a family sim, as I've mentioned before. As you can see, he also doesn't know the Brook girls, but he has memories of meeting them, so I suppose he actually does. He's also very nice and very shy, just like Melissa. Now that he's old enough to date, Josh is anxious to find the girl. He thinks it could be Melissa Brook. Yeah, he kind of finds Danielle hot too, but that's just like a hormonal thing, I guess. And after all, Melissa and Danielle, you know, they really do look alike because they're twins, so it's natural that he also finds her attractive as well. But I just know he's going to choose Melissa. And this is the house. There's no second floor or anything. I'm actually really pleased with this house. It doesn't feel like it's missing something, unlike a lot of the other houses. And now on to the Andersons. These are 4 roommates. 2 brothers and 2 random girls. Marty has always been the hotshot of the 2 Anderson brothers. Now with 2 attractive new roommates, will Bernie finally break out of his shell and emerge from the shadow of his brother? And it also has a note. This house is an accurate remake of Marty and Bernie's home from the earliest 2003 Sims 2 previews. So this is Bernie, a knowledge sim actually, who is very creative and quite logical as well. Very, very lazy and very shy, but very nice and very playful. He's ready to find his own way to shine. I think I'm going to make him a gamer. I think that would just suit him. And this is the other brother, Marty, who has the Don Lothario beard. And he is a romance sim too. Marty doesn't mind sharing a pad with his dweeby brother because his dweeby brother does housework. Does he though? Does he? Juggling 2 hot chicks in the same house might be tricky, but he's up for it. Of course he is. Yeah, he has got a crush on both of them, and they're best friends as well. So it will not be hard to get one of them to woohoo with him. Jennifer Rose here is a fortune sim. She doesn't really like Bernie, but she is close to being friends with Lisa and has a crush on Marty. And this is Lisa, who has blonde eyebrows and dark hair. That's kind of weird. She is also a romance sim, and she is quite excited about that hot tub. Yeah, this hot tub. Okay, let's see the house. So this is quite impressive, I think. It's got 2 lakes and everything. It's got like a balcony and another balcony. It certainly looks nice. Apparently the girls share a room. The guys don't though. I don't really know who paid for this. In my game, they're going to kind of be renting it. Because like there's just no way that 4 Sims who are like 21, 2, 3 can buy a house like this. And the final household I want to show you is the Marshalls. It's really funny because this family's entire story is that their teenage daughter Lila threw a party. That's it. That's all that there is talk of in the household. Lila has just thrown the biggest party that Riverside has ever seen, but this accomplishment came at a price. If Lila neglects her young siblings during a party again, what will the consequences of her actions be? As you can see, this family consists of 2 parents, yet again, the aforementioned teenage daughter Lila, and 2 toddlers, Lawrence and Trinity. Lila is a popularity sim and all she can think about is partying. She has loads of tiny friends, and this is where the tinies come in, right? We have not seen any of them before, but we know them now because they came to that infamous party. And Lila ended up hooking up with 2 guys, Alan and Tyler. And here you can see our only black sim in the neighborhood, Austin Felch. The twins, Lawrence and Trinity, both fear having a party. I guess they're a bit traumatized. I mean, Trinity surely is. Look at their bios. Look at their freaking bios. I love it. And for the parents, this is Ralph, and he is a resident in the medical career. His wife, Margaret, I think she's like the first Virgo we meet in this neighborhood as well. And yeah, do I need to say more? And this place finally has some trash. But like that's it, 2 bottles and nothing remaining of the party. There is a lot of space here to have a party though. Now I want to look at some of the community lots. This is one-stop shop. You can buy groceries, clothes, video games, all of that. I actually think that this looks a lot more like a store than any of the ones that are in Pleasant View or Strangetown. I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of like it, yeah. I really like the vibe of this clothing place as well. Of course, would a Sims 2 community lot be a community lot if it wasn't for the grills? There is this thing going on with the lakes here. This is an unoccupied residential lot, but this is a community lot. It's called Riverside Southern Lake. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of one of the lots in downtown. There's also Clifton Springs Mall, kind of close to the end of the road here. And it's chaotic. They have a hot tub here as well. They have some toilets. They have... what is this? They have random TVs on the wall that you can just sit down and watch. Now I want to look at a few residential lots. First, this one. The floor and the wall combinations of this house, they remind me so much of the Goth household, the Goth mansion. This is like their bedroom, the same wallpaper and the same flooring. This is the living room, and this wallpaper is actually, I think, what they had in The Sims 1. So that is interesting to me, at least. Okay, I just loaded up this other house and it has the same colors. So that one house is not special, it turns out. This also has the Ghost Mansion colors. Well, it turns out nearly all of them do. This roofing really is something though. I have so many questions. Yeah, anyways, that will have to be all for now because it's like super late and I've been taking way too long as usual. All in all, I just want to say I'm actually really happy the Riverside never made it to the game and instead we got Pleasant View, Strangetown and Meadow. It was a smart decision to split it up, to create smaller neighborhoods instead of this big one. But I am going to try my best at making it interesting, making it more diverse. So yeah, feel free to join me in the coming weeks, months, I don't know how long it's going to be, while we play Riverside on the channel. Also, let me know what you think of Riverside. Have you tried it yet? Are you going to download it? I recommend you check it out. I think you can make interesting stories in Riverside. The recreators have done an amazing job on it, really. I'll have to do my own little makeovers and calculations and all of that, but I am excited to play it. Yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you found some of it interesting. If you did, give it a like, give me a subscribe. I'm so bad at this stuff, really. Alright, I will see you next time. Bye bye.